I knew it's temperature control, I was
Yeah,
just
Brad and I
curious.
have actually discussed it about half a dozen times.
Okay.
We just keep, it seems like everything's about a month and a half behind on the seasonal stuff, so it might be February, I don't know.
But it's on the radar if
It's
it
gonna
works.
get
All right,
done, yep.
good enough, that's good, thank you, sir.
Yes.
That's it. Right?
Now it's like this today.
No. All right. Anybody have anything else for the cause?
We have annual reports. They're,
Good. You want to review these?
just go in order as listed. Rich?
For the record, I hope we don't fill that ice rink. Too many temperatures in up there.
You what?
I said, I hope we don't fill the ice rink. So,
Why is that?
because that means the temperatures are not.
He doesn't like it.
Oh,
Stays warm.
Yes, it's-
that's a very selfish thing to say.
I'll take it.
That's all right.
I don't know if everybody's had a chance to look at it or not. I'm just gonna hit some things on here, and if you get questions, feel free to ask. Like it was said, Mike's retiring. We're gonna interview for his position this week and next week. So you can see he's got 26 years of experience. Sorry. So, big shoes to fill. He's done very well at teaching him, or teaching the other people, you know, what they need to know now. So we're in a good situation. We got some really good operators, so. A little bit of history, or a little bit of knowledge, I guess. We got 90 miles of underground water main, 4,967 water meters, which is up 96 from last year. 701 fire hydrants, which is 10 more than last year. 1,870 main line valves, 2 1 million gallon water towers, and 1.5 million gallon underground storage tank. And got 1 million gallons of water in the distribution system, 6 million gallon a day filter or treatment plant, high service pumps and a booster pump station, 6 wells. Well 14 is up and running. It is not completed 100%. The punch list still has to be done, but we are using it. So it's
What's not functioning?
oh no, the punch list isn't done. There's some things that they got to finish.
Gotcha.
It is functioning.
Gotcha,
yes.
okay. I
We've been
knew you
running
said it was up and running, but I was just
Yep.
wondering, okay.
We've been running it since July, maybe August.
Okay. all right.
So it's running, they're just things that they gotta finish up on, so. So that's a little bit about what we have for in the treatment system, right? We went through, or produced 1,121 million gallons last year. Our backwash is at 1.01%, which is down probably 3% for the previous years. We're figuring out we don't have to use as much water for backwash and don't waste it if we don't have to. So we went 1,113 million went through left the distributions into the distribution system. We billed out for 1,013 million. That's 60 million gallons less, at 5.4% unaccounted for. Some of that is from the irrigation meters. They don't get read from September till now, or till May. So that water that went through them is not calculated in this because there's not billed for. And when we have a water leak and they use it for fire, that's a calculated estimate because, I mean, we don't have meters on any of that. So all that adds to the unmetered water. We do have some where we've caught people hooking onto a fire hydrant and taking water and that kind of thing. So not a lot, but that does happen. So, okay. Second page. That's just a rundown of how many gallons we've pumped every month. We went through 24 million gallons more water this year than last year. That's an average of 65,000 gallons a day more. And then that's just the list of different things that we've done. Service leaks, we've had main breaks, we had 8 this year. We had 13 last year, so we had a little, not as many. Service calls our callbacks are up a little bit more than what they were, I think by about 15 or 20. That has to do with our treatment plant's 16 and a half years old. It's gonna happen. Page 3, project's completed. We supervised and instructed installing the raw water main for well 14. Did our lead and copper tests. We replaced the main PLC in the treatment plant and the high service pump room. The PLC is basically the brains of our treatment plant. If it doesn't work, we don't produce water. So that was a major piece of equipment we had to replace. Completed the risk and resilience assessment required by the EPA, was submitted to the EPA. Our risk, we don't have a lot of high risk. We do have some things we need to work on or work towards, but for the most part, it looks pretty good. We worked with a local engineering firm they asked us to make a video of a standard operating procedure. So we did that and put it on an Iowa Water Conference for Iowa Water. The DNR really liked that a lot. We replaced both the beacons at the towers. For some reason, they don't like the state working, so we worked with the company we bought them from and got them at a discounted rate, so because they were only 6 years old. So they're both replaced. We gave the fire department tours of the treatment plant. We give the water department, or the fire department, the ambulance, the police department. I haven't done the sheriff's, I should. Basically, have them come out and give them a tour to let them know if there is a call, we got a chlorine leak out there. There are things that they need to look for so that they don't come in and they don't become a victim. So basically, bring them out, give them a tour, explain the chlorine system, how it works, show them where to go look so it's safe for them to go and do the rescue. So that's the main reason for doing that. So try to do that every 4 or 5 years. We installed temp service lines for a pipeline job we did in August. We did 3.5 blocks of 4-inch main. We started and finished that job in 2.5 weeks. Saved the city about $120,000 because the water department did a majority of that work themselves. The fire flow we did before that was 430 gallons a minute. It went up to 750 gallons a minute. Same size pipe, just cleaned it out and lined it. I will say that the water department did an awesome job. We did it on a weekend to basically so customers didn't have to be in this temporary service for any longer than they had to. It was at that time 90 degrees out, so that water on the temp line up above gets pretty warm. We got some phone calls, people saying my water is warm and it's cold water. Well, it's because it's 80 degrees outside. So we wanted to get that done as soon as possible. It all went very well. Like I say, the capacity that main can flow through now is almost double. So the project was really good. I can see in the future us doing more of that. The cost effectiveness in doing that compared to replacing a main is tremendous. And so it worked really well. Renewed our public water supply operating permit, Iowa DNR. We completed all the requirements for the DNR for testing, bacteria test, ammonia, nitrates, manganese, combined radium, trimethanes, and then took some bacteria tests for businesses and also for any main developments and that kind of stuff.
Can you explain, Rich, is there any required extra testing because of population?
I'm getting to that. Yep, I'll get to that. That is, I'll get to that whenever I talk about things for next year. We installed 6 easy valves in town and 22 easy valves in other towns. One town had 4,000 people without water for 36 hours until we came and put that valve in. Easy valves are valves that we insert in live water mains, and so we can insert that valve in and shut it down with water flowing through it. We partnered with the utility equipment company. They hire us to do them. We budgeted $35,000 this year as for revenue for that, and we're above that right now. We got a half year to go. So it's been a very, very good partnership, and we've been able to help other towns get their mains fixed and keep people with water. So it is a really good thing. Any questions on any of that?
Did they reach out to you?
Yes. Well, they reach out to the utility equipment company and then they contact us. We have had it to where the town I'm talking about here, they contacted us. Or Iowa Rural Water, they know we have it, they'll contact us also. So-
And you make about, how much call on those, 2,500 a call?
No, it all depends on the size of main, anywhere from 1,400 to 2,500,
Okay.
depending on what size of main it is. We've been fortunate where we've had a couple towns that they've done numerous valves 3 years in a row. They're getting to where they're done doing that, but there's also more towns hearing about it and wanting it, so it's a unique thing to be able to do. We're very fortunate to have that valve, or that tool to do it for ourselves and for other towns. So we can actually put one of them valves in mine in 45 minutes. From if the hole's all dug out, ready to go, by the time the guys get in the hole to the time they leave, 45 minutes. On a 4 to 8 inch, anything bigger than that's gonna take more time because it's heavier and it takes more cutting to doing that.
We basically went into that program buying the equipment to save our town the charge, and we had quite a few that are coming up and have been done, but we just started farming it out to pay for it, and it's basically paying for itself.
It's already paid for itself.
I thought it was close.
The tool cost 63,000, we
Right.
netted 95,000 in 2.5 years.
Yeah.
So it's more than paid for itself. And it's gonna continue to be used all the time.
That's a big kudos to you, Rich. Thank you.
It's a big kudos to my guys, because they do the work, and they're really good at it. So, okay, so, let's see. So some things that, let me see if I got the right page here. Yeah, some things we're gonna do for next year. Work with the ban lead and copper requirements for 2024. They changed them all. Part of being over 10,000 people, we used to have to do 20 lead and copper requirements every 3 years. We have to do 30 now. So getting 20 is hard to do. Finding 10 more is gonna be extremely hard to do. They gotta fit certain requirements. Part of that, also that lead and copper rule, is we're gonna have to do an inventory of our service lines. We don't own them, but we gotta keep an inventory of them. We're making inventory of them. And also have a plan on what we're gonna do if we fail. They're saying with these new requirements, 40% of the people who pass before are gonna fail. So there's a very good chance we're gonna fail with what they set forth. So we need to start now getting an inventory of the service lines that other people own, so we have them, and then have a plan on what we're going to do if we do fail.
How do you get those?
We're gonna have to go into people's homes and look and give an educated guess, because unless you can see through dirt, I don't know how else, because there's a lot of places in town that the line coming into the house is copper or galvanized, but they got a lead pigtail from the main to the curb box. We have no way of telling that unless we dig it up. So it's going to be a guess, best guess. Some parts of the town, you kind of see if the curb box is really close to where the water main is, it's probably got a lead pigtail in it. So there are some things you can look for, but it's still a guess. So that's all we can do with it. But they're going to require us to have an inventory and have a plan if we do not pass. And our next test that we do is next year, I do believe. So we'll see how it goes then.
So what is the test, Rich? Just
The test for lead and copper.
in our water?
In our water, yep. So basically, they're just seeing if we put phosphate in our water, which is supposed to put a barrier between our pipes and our water so that doesn't come up. Well, when we do this, when they require this test, it used to be you had to have your service line sit for 6 hours and then you first draw that out of that pipe, or out of that spigot. Now it's going to be first draw plus 100 milliliter first draw. Then you take 3 more 100 milliliter ones and you take the 5th draw, and you get to send the 1st and the 5th one in to be tested. Well, and then you have to have a plan for what you're gonna do with them other 3 100 milliliter samples, which I gotta do a little more research to find out what they mean by that, because if it came out of the spigot, it can go down the drain, but I don't know. Government.
So if we fail, what,
We have to have a plan on what we're going to do to pass.
So-
Basically, how are we gonna replace the service lines?
Is this what you use my house for, monthly or?
We do, that's a
quarterly?
bacteria test.
That's a
No.
bacteria
See,
test.
the lead and copper, you have to meet a certain age of house, certain, there's a tier 1, tier 2, and tier 3. Tier 1 being the worst, them are the lead service lines. Well, 5 years ago, we went around to all of our 20 that we had and tested, because at that time, if you had lead or solder in your copper line, you were considered a tier 1. All of our tests are tier 1. Now that falls to a tier 3. So, I mean, they changed all the requirements on the different tiers. So we're gonna have to basically go back and change them from tier 1s to tier 2s or tier 3s, and then submit it and see what they say we have to do. It's all kind of on them. So that's where we sit with that. And part of that also is the homeowner is the one doing the samples, pulling the samples, because you get 6 hours before you sit in their dormer for 6 hours, you take the test. Well, people don't want you in your house when they're just waking up, so they usually take the test for us. That might have to change this next go around, because you want to take anything you can take out of there for a chance for it to fail, you want to take out. So, but we'll see. We'll have to learn a little bit more on that, and the rules aren't finalized yet, but they're pretty close to it. So, also with the new 10,000, over 10,000, we also have to do another trimethane test. We just had to do one before, now we have to do 2. That is basically to check the disinfectant byproducts in our water from the chlorine. We have to test it at the furthest point out, which is actually Better's RV. And then now we have to do one that's centrally located in the city. So them are the 2 added on requirements for being over 10,000. They also say that they can also require you to be a guinea pig for testing for whatever the EPA wants you to test for now. So we'll see what happens with that. We are in the process of working with 2 different companies for an RO pilot. We had one that started, didn't work out. They have since left. We hopefully at the end of this month will be starting with Wiggins Company out of Minnesota. They'll do a pilot for 90 days, and then when they're done, we'll have DeSalatech will come in and they'll do a pilot. DeSalatech is going to do their pilot for free. It's a newer kind of RO. They've been in industry more so than in municipalities. Their recovery rate is supposedly a lot better than the traditional kind. We'll see. I do like the DeSalatech, but we'll see how they perform. But that'll be the next 180 days. We'll be doing both those pilots and see how that goes. We have having some issues at the treatment plant. So we actually I told you earlier, we have a 6 million gallon a day treatment plant. This Sunday we're going to come in real early when everything is shut down and replace a static mixer that is about 2 inches wide, and it restricts our treatment plant by 40%. If the figures are right. So our 6 million gallon a day treatment plant possibly could turn into a 9 million gallon a day treatment plant without having to put a bigger footprint down. So this Sunday we're going to go and take that out and put a piece of pipe in there, work with the local guy, John Saylor. He does this kind of stuff for a living, and he's been a great guy to team up with. He's been helping us with that. So that'll be this weekend.
Maybe we could find one of those parts at the wastewater department too. Automatically increase our capacity out there. But,
Talk to Doug about that.
yeah.
We also have one of our filters at our treatment plant right now is not working. It hasn't been working for over a month. The valve is broke, and we almost had it fixed by doing some adjusting, and then it decided it didn't want to be. So we are working with the same company that we're dealing with the DeSalatech. It's called Vesco. They have found a valve for us. It's 4 weeks out. So when they get that to us, we will be shutting the treatment plant down again and replacing that valve, because in order to do it, the treatment plant's got to be completely shut down. So that'll be another early morning project. But like I said, I got some good guys, and with John, they're working with us. We'll get her accomplished. So that's pretty much all I got. You guys any questions? All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Who is it? Yeah, streets.
Good afternoon. Scott Knight with the street department. I just kind of ran through and wrote some stuff down here. I'll go through it quick. I didn't put everything we do. Just some of the classes we attended. We did attend OSHA 10-hour construction program this year. That was very good. It's good for 5 years. And then we did a 3-hour virtual winter maintenance class with the county, city, DOT, and the state of Iowa. And we attended a 4-hour virtual class called Iowa Work Zone workshop. That's kind of required if you're working out in the streets. It's supposed to go about every couple years. So, and then we do have monthly safety meetings with our guys every month out there. Just some of the trees we take down. We took 21 trees down in the city right away and trimmed. We trimmed all the trees going out to the tree and grass site. There's a detention basin up on the south end of the city cemetery up there. A lot of you guys probably don't even know what's up there. We spent a couple days with 2 skid loaders. We rent one from Del Kellen, and we put mowers on the front of them, and we go in there and mow all the trees down. It's kind of an overgrown thing. And then we finished up with public facilities. This year with the river being down so low, we went into the river and pulled a lot of trees out of the river. And we worked the river all the way from Walmart out to the golf course, and we finished that up. Everything we can get out, prevents more flooding. So we had a lot of stuff that was stuck in the river, which then when it floods, that holds and catches other stuff. So we did accomplish quite a bit out there. The alleys, we went through and graded all the city alleys. We did put rock in 26 of those alleys. Street painting, we did repaint all the crosswalks, repainted center lines downtown, K49, C30, and Lincoln Avenue this year.
I will say that those crosswalks seem to be lasting longer.
Yeah,
I don't
and
know.
we ground them down, so then we had to manually go and grind every piece to get it down below the concrete so we can get the paint down, because otherwise it just wears off. And so that was kind of the last couple of years. We just, as you guys noticed, instead of just doing the double lines going across, we put the boxes in there now, which I think stick out a little bit better. So we'll keep that up every year. The grass and twig site, we spent about 350 hours total working out there, pushing grass and trees up after it's open to the public. And because of COVID, nobody was taking